Happy Saturday, everybody. I wanted to talk about the Love Curriculum. The Love Curriculum. I am April Jones. I'm the founder of Birth to Life Early Care Institute, where I service families, teachers, and ECE professionals in the early care field. So, children that are infants through older preschoolers, which is 4 and 5. I'm very excited to talk about this love curriculum because a lot of times we talk about academics, reading skills, writing skills, math skills, all of these things, but social emotional skills and knowing who your child is and knowing how your child responds to love and the nurturing tones and all of these things inside of your home is very beneficial for them as a human being that grows into adulthood. So from, the early years to teen years to adult years. And a lot of times too, there's such a big push about mental health now. People, meditation, going to therapists, all of these different things. And a lot of different things are happening with our children nowadays. That has happened in the past. But now we are realizing more than ever that your emotions and how you handle your emotions, your feelings, things that has happened to you is vitally important because you are a human being that experience all of these things. So I wanted to talk about the love curriculum, the love curriculum. Okay, so a little bit about myself. I am a full-time school administrator. I work at a school. Right now, our school's been closed, so I've been working from home, but I still communicate with teachers and families and things like that. And so, through the years, I've had multiple trainings on social emotional development, how children in social emotional development can cover a range of topics from temper tantrums, from feelings to emotions to how children regulate their behavior, challenging behavior. But I had an eye-opening experience. I read this book called The Five Love Languages by Dr. Gary Chapman. And so I read the book. I actually had classes on the book and sessions and things like that. And what I learned about the different types of five love languages, you might have heard of this and you might have not. And so as a teacher, what I decide to do anytime I feel like I learn something very groundbreaking or bring some type of new awareness to my life, I try to apply it to my life and others' lives as well. And so during that season, I was a teacher. So I learned about how some people respond to love by words of affirmation, the things that you say, gifts, like giving them something, they feel love, physical touch, acts of services, if you're helping them clean up, if you help them, put gas in the car, quality time, all of these things. So I was like, So one of the ways that, as a teacher, a lot of times your best practices come from, learning about the cognitive development when it comes to children reaching milestones and stuff. But, during this time and during this era, I've had the benefit of going to a lot of social emotional trainings, and there is such a push for that. Because what we're noticing is that a lot of kids are not necessarily getting that at home. And on top of that, some kids are. But sometimes parents don't necessarily know like what the tools are or what to do. Just think about yourself as a child. As a child, I experienced some very tough things. I experienced some very tough hardships. And what I've realized is that if I would have had some of these social emotional type of things, maybe in the classroom or maybe given to my parents, maybe this could have helped me process some of the trauma that I've experienced or the different emotions as well. So as teachers, I would teach the children about emotion, show them emotion cards and have skits and things like that. And so I wanted to talk about the love curriculum. The love curriculum is about who is your child, How do they respond to communication? And how do they feel love? Because we could be doing certain things for them, and you could have very good intentions, but at the same time, they could still feel like they're missing something as well when it comes to communication. And it boils down to like communication and how you respond. So one of the ways I did this was in my classroom, when children would have fits of tantrums, rage, different things like that. Sometimes that's just, developmentally appropriate. It's just when it becomes like so frequent, you watch the frequency of it to see like, okay, it's something else behind this behavior. But during that time, I created a cozy area in my classroom. So this is something that you can do at home as well, creating a cozy area. So what does that look like, creating a cozy area, and what's the difference and what's the purpose? Well, a lot of times, even as adults, if we're having feelings of frustration, we're feeling overwhelmed, we're angry, we're trying to wrap our head around things. Children experience this as well, but at the same time, they don't necessarily have the communication or reasoning to help them process this out. And even as adults, we might have that reasoning, but we still might need a little bit of time and space to allow our body to relax and relate and decompress this stress that is on us, this sense of frustration. So inside of my classroom, I would have like a cozy couch, maybe like a tent canopy, some stuffed animals, maybe a book, some nice soothing things in the classroom to help them decompress. So if they're getting dropped off for the day, and they're missing their mom, they have an intense separation anxiety, they might go to that cozy area just to calm down as well. And they're able to go. If it happens during lunch, if it happens in the middle of nap, if it happens in the middle of morning circle or small group, they are able to go to that cozy area and decompress, basically, to de-stress their feelings because it's too much for them at that moment. So that's something that I definitely want to encourage parents to do, is do that inside of your home. It don't necessarily have to be in their bedroom, it can be anywhere in the house. If you have a nice little area for them to go. And also too, what I notice is that it helps the teacher. It helps you as a parent. It helps you as me being a former teacher. It will help me as well because they're able to calm down. They're able to do those things. And what I would do is teach them different things of, okay, this is the purpose of a pillow. This is what the couch is for. You can close the canopy. This is your own world. I will not disturb you. You do not have to disturb me. But if you need my assistance, you can hold up this sign. You can, just different cues that you could give them as well. So creating a cozy area inside of your home. It doesn't have to be anything elaborate. It can be, I know they have some nice, of course, I haven't been to an IKEA in a while and different things, but I know IKEA had some nice little canopies that was reasonably priced that you can bring down. I've seen the cozy area. One year I had like a box, like a wooden box, and I put a little curtain up, put pillows in there so they can open up the curtain, they can close it. They had a book, they had a stuffed animal. If they had something that was their favorite, that was the opportunity. I would tell them, now this is your cozy area type of toy or something like that. You can only use it during this time when needed. So children do need those expectations. Now for my children that do not have the language just yet, you can use pictures, like younger toddlers, older toddlers. So I'm talking about, children 1.5, 2, 3, especially because I was an older toddler teacher, 2's turning 3, especially that age group right there. I'm telling you, you will see the benefits of it. So you talk about it, you can put pictures up, if, like I said, if they don't have the language just yet, and you can introduce those pictures, have a picture of a book, have a picture of how they can breathe, showing them breathing, take a recording, a video of them breathing and breathing through their nose, things like that. And you typically, most of the time children will be in there for like 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes if needed, and then they will come back and they will revisit us in the classroom. But you can allow for that as well. If you notice that your child is having certain tantrums during a certain time, or if they're having an intense power struggle at a certain time, you might have to revisit some of those things, and I have other videos about that. But maybe them having a time to kind of get their thoughts and their emotions and their body and their vibration together in a certain space, and then come back and revisit, the everyday activities. Another thing that I wanted to talk about too is celebrating your child. Celebrating your child. So if you notice that for example, one of the love languages is words of affirmation. These are people that love compliments. They might read a lot. They watch your tone. They watch your body language, and they really pay attention to the things that you say. And this can make or break them. But these are people sometimes too, they like communication, but they like communication, verbal communication coming from other people in ways of words. So sending positive affirmations to them. You know what? You're going to do an amazing job today. If they're nervous about something, I'm going to drop you off at school, and I know you're going to do great. You're going to tell me about your day. Tell me one thing you did in small group today. And, just fill their love bucket as much as possible by words of affirmation, giving them positive words. And what I would encourage every parent to do is to possibly get a journal. This is like, I have a lot of these. I have a lot of journals around, but take a journal and really just watch your child. As an ECE professional, our job is to not only teach, but assess, and we do assessment in a number of different ways by observing. So sometimes too, as a parent, don't forget about your observing your child, really looking at how they respond. Watch your child. And some of you guys like, okay, I know, like when I give my child a gift, they light up. They think I'm the best parent in the world. They they're giving me extra hugs. They're doing like that. That gifts, they like gifts. And necessarily the love language of gifts don't necessarily mean that you have to go out and buy something. Gifts is about, you could give them a card. You could, you guys could take a walk and they can notice a flower or something like that, or notice something, and you decide on your way to work or coming from work or back from the grocery store, wherever you're going or coming back from, you decide to give it to them. It's like, this reminds me of you. I remember when you said that you wanted this, and I'm going to give this to you. That fills your love bucket. I'm telling you, gifts is one of mine. Gifts is one of mine. Quality time. Celebrating your child through quality time. Okay. Now, moving on. Another thing that I used to do as a former teacher is I would celebrate them with their own holiday. So in February, that was one of my favorite months to teach, because it was around Valentine's Day and different things like that. And I'm a person, I love love, okay? I love love. I love hugs. I love the cookies. I love the messages about love. Like, I love love. That's all me. And through the years, I evolved as a teacher. But what I decided to do one day, I said, I really want to celebrate my children. and my students, I call them my children. I really want to celebrate them. I want to something that they want, or something that they like, or something that they have communicated. I want to bring that into the classroom. So one year, what I decided to do is have, during the month of February, for the children to have their own holiday. Their own holiday. So I, wrote the parents an email, and we had discussions about it. I had discussions about, this is a holiday, because we celebrate all kind of holidays. Some people don't, some people do. Or you might celebrate a certain tradition, or every family has their own culture in a sense. So, we celebrate all these different holidays and things. And I was thinking, I want to celebrate them. I want them to have their own holiday. So I assigned everybody a day in February. And whatever they wanted, I tried to make sure that was incorporated in the classroom. One child, he wanted just orange balls displayed everywhere. Just orange balls. He said, I just want the kids in the classroom to play with orange balls. And the parent told me, he was like, I don't think I can buy a bunch of orange balls. And I'm like, no, it's okay. You don't have to buy something to make something roll. We can make it. And I told him, I said, the old paper mache type of thing. And what I decided to do, I told the dad, I said, okay, he's, like I'm a creative too. So I said, we can make some of the balls in the classroom, doing learning center time or whatever. He can take them home, paint them, bring them back. Or you can do some at home. And there were different size balls, but that's something that he wanted. One child wanted us to build a library outside, like with shelves and stuff. We weren't able to build the library outside during that time because cost and different things like that. As a teacher, I didn't have that approval. But, I told her, I said, pick out the books. What we can have book baskets. And she was happy about that. And then I said, we can put the book baskets on one of the playground shelves. And then the children can do that. So anything that they wanted, I did not say no. I tried to make it happen in some form or fashion. So sometimes you have to be a little bit creative. But I gave them a day. But you as a family, you can do an entire week. You can do an entire month. You can be very creative about it. And what I would do is, I would really, really try to make it big for them. I would get we had these walkie-talkies out, and I would get on there and I would say, okay, today is Michael's holiday, and the whole school would see it. Just imagine as a child, and I'm telling you, I've done this for a couple years when I had this idea, and it was always a big hit. It inspired a lot of people, and I could tell during that time, I will also talk about friendship, empathy, love, different types of love, but I saw a shift. I saw a tremendous shift in how children reacted to them being celebrated, because all children want to be visible. As humans, we want to be visible to someone. We want to know that we're loved and appreciated by someone. We're human. That's how we communicate as well. And that communication and visibility happen in so many different ways. But those are some of the things that that you can do to celebrate your child. And you can do it elaborate, or you can do so many different things to celebrate your child. And also too, I'll try to tap into their love language, and it was just awesome. It really was. It was just awesome. Continue to, write them a note. A lot of times children don't necessarily remember the toys and things like that. When you think about your childhood, you might, if you're a person that like gifts, then maybe you can remember your toy here and there. It's not necessarily about material possessions, but for the most part, When people talk about the best teacher they ever had, the best moment they ever had, and things like that, what I've noticed is they talk about the experiences, how it made them feel, how special, the celebration of it, the excitement of it. That's what you have to do, is create elements of that. Okay, so I hope I have given you guys some tools and things. I want to do a part two, when I was on Facebook Live, but my Facebook messed up a little bit. But there's so many different things that you can do with this love curriculum. Create your own family book. Create something where it's just about you and your child. You don't necessarily have to go to a publishing company. You don't. You can get a notebook, you can get some paper, get a hole puncher. You guys can draw pictures together. You can talk about it together. You can create special videos of them saying, I love you. You could just record yourself talking about how you felt when they were born. Oh my goodness. I know one time I heard one mom, she would write a letter and journal about her children every single day, and she has a binder, and she was going to give it to them during their graduation. But even if you don't do that, you don't necessarily, that's just an example, but you can talk about, when you were born, I was so excited. And you just can't imagine how that would fill their love tank. You just can't imagine that. So hopefully I am going to do some more series of the love curriculum. I love talking about this. I love revisiting those experiences in my mind and things. So stay tuned, and hopefully you will take these things, create a cozy corner, create their own holiday, tap into their love language, spend quality time with them, do special videos, all of these things. Have a wonderful day, and stay tuned.